In my college sophomore year, I have shared a room with a friend in the dormitory. It was a relatively small room with a bunk bed to save some space. My bed is above and my friend's below. One day he had a party at a friend's house and he said he wouldn't be back until late midnight. That night, when I was on my sleep, I suddenly awake by the sound of the key opening the door. I checked the phone, it was about midnight, so I thought he was back. I remembered that he was slowly walked toward our bed, stood there and stared at me for a while. I thought he was just checking whether I was asleep or not, so I just kept closing my eyes. And then I heard him crawled into his bed. Later that morning, I was awake again by someone knocking at the door. I lazily stepped out of my bed and opened. Strangely, in front of me was my roommate. I remembered that he was back home last night. I immediately asked him what he was doing and why did he get out at midnight and had to knock on the door in the morning. And what he said was shocked. "What you mean? I was drunk so bad that I can't drive home from the party, then I slept over with them. What's happened?" I silenced. "Wait. So, who was the guy from last night?"
There are two friends, Anna and Jel, and they are best friend. One day, a man moved to the dormitory and he's living in the room next to them. His name is Tom. He is quite funny and kind and also a little bit handsome. He often visited these two girls and invited them out for a date. Because of this man's kindness, both of them were captivated. Jel knows that Anna also fell in love with Tom, and because she saw Tom laughing more happily with Anna than with her, gradually, she turned into jealous of Anna and she hated Anna so much. One day, a heated quarrel happened between Jel and Anna. Because Jel was loving Tom too much, she wants him for herself. In anger, she pushed Anna, her best friend, down from the third floor of the dorm. And she died. After that, Jel acted like nothing had happened. The police concluded it was an accident and then everything went by. Years later, she finally married the man she loved and they have a daughter. When her daughter turned 16, she decided to take her to visit the dorm where she used to live. She never told her daughter about what happened at this place and the story of many years ago. While looking at the sunset on the third floor, the daughter immediately turned to her mother. "Jel, you will not be pushing me down again." This is a true story that happened to me about 7 years ago. I was only in 6th grade at that time. As usual, I went straight home after school. My parents were both working, so only I stayed home until late at night. Most of the time I stay at home to do my homework and watch TV, so this is not too bad at all, and I'm completely fine. One day, after school, I went straight home as usual. There wouldn't anything happen until I realized there was a strange man following me behind. I felt something was wrong, I then tried to stop pretending to be waiting for someone and let him pass me. But strangely, he also stopped. A while later, I ran out of patience, I continued to move again, and of course, he moved as well. I was too scared, I quickly ran home without looking back. When I got home, I locked all the doors. I think when I was home, I'll be safe. But not. I immediately heard a slight knocking on the door. I took the courage to look through the door hole and startled when I realized that the person behind the door was that strange man. He knocks on the door stronger and louder. And then he was banging hard on the door. I terrified and ran to my bedroom, locked and sat in a corner. I took the phone and called the police. I was startled again when the sounds of banging in my bedroom window. I looked up. He had his face close to the glass, one hand banging hard on the window and shouted, "Open the fucking door, you asshole. Open the door or I'll kill you." He banged so hard I thought the glass would be broken. And what will happen if he can get inside? I could do nothing but hope that the police would come quickly. Minutes later, the police finally came. After they searching around, they finally caught him. Then, my family moved away right afterward. We moved to a new apartment on the other side of the city and lived there until now. I remembered about 2 years ago, there was one time I drove past the old house where I used to live. I once again saw him. He still stood there across the street, staring at my old building. Shuddered feels immediately returned. I don't know who is he and what he wants. And I don't really want to know. Sitting in the car, I can feel like he was looking at me from behind.